greetings my fellow Londarkians, and today is the day. Yeah, Londark Sandbox Alpha update to version 0.346. Yes, they've closed down the beta version. They made some subtle tweaks and changes. A lot we got to actually talk about. I'm a little bit tired here. We're actually on our Twitch run about 133 days or so. Yeah, I'll be going through all the patch notes. If you didn't watch my beta stuff, oh, you're a little tired, Jennifer. Wow, it's actually 7 degrees, but not too bad. Let's actually we'll go up here and enjoy the view as we talk about this. First thing, new languages. New languages actually will pop over to the options. It should be. Next, we said a couple of. Yeah, we should have French, Swedish, Korean, Chinese, traditional and simplified, Japanese, Turkish, and Norwegian. That's quite. They get that a lot more than most games now. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that is pretty good. By the way, first thing, let's pull up the radio menu. Yeah, it's a little tough to see there, but against the snow shelter. But you need 10 sticks and 3 cloth. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any sticks with me. I go out bed. We'll go out and look while we're doing this. And first pass survival skill system has been added to the game with the first test skills implemented. Actually, we'll go into the journal. I gotta go into the journal and check this out. It did give me fire starting level 3. Yeah, 65% chance to start fires. Fires last 10% longer. And I can start fires without Tinder, so, well, screw you, Tinder. I don't have to worry about that. So that's pretty much, as long as I got wood. So that's really going to extend survival time quite a bit. The other ones are not retroactive, unfortunately. None of that's retroactive, but I pretty much can start fires whenever I want. So that is pretty sweet. Yeah, we have fire starting, cooking, carcass harvesting, ice fishing, and rifle firearm, which I'm going to go through these in a separate video. I'll break that down a little bit more. Next thing, we're going to talk about the feat system. We're actually the feat system. Remember the badges and feats, you can actually access this in the main menu as well, but it's actually under badges. We don't need no stinking badges. Okay, first up, challenges. Yeah, hopeless rescue. It's just a little thing to give you once you completed all these badges. But yeah, just hunted. Part 1, hopeless rescue. Whiteout and the nomad. Actually, the feats. Yeah, I've changed this up a little bit from the first couple of builds they had in the beta. But book smarts. You completed 250 hours of research. From now on, you gain 10% more benefit from each completely researched book. And I got about 12%. I really didn't mess with too many books. They should be in your old saves. They should be new books should be in there. Yeah, the Hinterland very always make sure everything's save game compatible. Okay, cold fusion. You spent a total of 100 days outside. You're now less susceptible to the cold and get a permanent 2-degree plus bonus to your feels like temperature. And there's actually all these feats spread across many sandbox games, so it is retroactive. Though anything you've done in any games you completed won't go to count towards that. It just saves you have on you. Efficient machine. You've survived 500 days. Your body has adapted to these tough conditions. You now consume 10% fewer calories. And actually, I've got 100 days on this one, so I'm going to guess it's just from now on. So you have to save another 500 days. Fire mastery. You successfully started 1,000 fires. From now on, all your survivors start with a level 3 fire starting skill, as you saw that I had there. Free runner. You sprint 50 kilometers. Sprinting now burns 25% fewer calories. And Snowwalker. You travel 1,000 kilometers in the game. Your stamina bar recharges 20% faster, which I don't think it really was retroactive, though, because on this game I have, was it 600 kilometers, so I don't think that's quite, so it's probably going to be all new things. They retroacted the fire starter skill, though, at least that's fine. Well, like, we're not going to be playing this anyway. Actually, I'm going to pop over, just one second, I'm going to pop over to the challenges mode, and I'm going to show you those real quick. I actually popped over to the Whiteout Challengers. I'm currently doing a run on YouTube. It's actually a YouTube run. A little bit of spoilers. I'll try not to spoil too much today because I'll have another episode. Whiteout Challenge coming out right after this. I just thought the patch notes was a little more important. So actually, yeah, we'll go into our journal. We'll find everything you need to know. Actually, we're a little bit far away. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I won't tell you where I'm at and what I'm doing. But this is a list of the items we have. You need about 15 days of food, 20 things of softwood hardwood. This all has to be stored in Kwanzaa gas station. Yeah, it also has to be stored in Kwanzaa gas station. Wood and water can go on the floor. All the other stuff's got to be containered. all the containers there are empty, so I just gotta put it in there. Yeah, reclaimed wood also goes on the floor. You need about 30 of those. 50 sticks, 25 tinder, 10 bandages, 25 matches, a rifle, 10 rifle cartridges, a hatchet, a lantern, 25 things of potable water. It's about 25 liters, and 5 liters of kerosene. All that you can find in Coastal Highway. Very easy, very simple. I've done about 3 or 4 days. Actually, for some reason I couldn't find a hatchet though on Twitch, so I actually had to go. I went to Desolation Point and made my own makeshift hatchet. That does also work if you're having trouble finding that. But yeah, and actually, press the timer, because this is still from my other game when it was actually bugged with the time. So it's only supposed to be 30 days. I have 32, because every time you go in and out, it would mess with that. But there is that for that. And next, we're going to go pop over to the Nomad Challenge. That has changed up a little bit if you're following me in the beta, and we'll talk about that as well. Okay, gang, we're actually back at the Nomad. We're actually back at the Nomad Challenge. As I said before, I wasn't really a big fan of it. They changed that up a little bit. I try to make it a little bit more varied, but spend 3 days at each location listed in your journal. So we'll push up the journal. Days in each location. They varied up a little bit. Camping office, trapper's cabin, forestry lookout, upper dam, lower dam. The barn, radio control hut, Skidder's Ridge in that basement. Rural store, Quonset gas station. The abandoned lookout, Mountaineer's hut, the Lonely Lighthouse, the Stone Church, Cinder Hills coal mine, and the crumbling highway basement. Now, actually, I think this is actually looking at this. I feel it's a little more in tune because I was in 5 interior locations. You actually had to spend the entire time. Actually, I think it's probably the same as this one. You're gonna have to spend the entirety inside there. Though I think it's maybe a little more varied because the Stone Church. Yeah, you probably have to spend it within the boundaries of the Stone Church, I'm sure, within that little area. So you're going to have to spend 3 days camping out there. I'll play through it a little bit more when I have some more information, but it's changed it up quite a bit. So not quite the 50 days we were doing. We were doing 5 days, 10 days in 5 locations. It's 3 days in 15 locations. So this is, I'm glad they listened to my feedback a little bit. Made this a little more nomadic. A little bit tougher because there's some outside locations here. I really like that actually. That's quite a lot nice. It'll keep you. It'll change it up a little bit. So I think a little bit redemption for Nomad because I said I was not going to play that again more than I did the one time. But this actually looks. It looks a lot better. I like this. I gotta say I gotta hand it to Hinterland for changing this up, making it a bit more fun there. Okay, that's what. Pop back, and I actually did show you the almanac, as you check on the beta. The almanac, that only actually is in the journal. That is in the journal. I'll pop back to the Whiteout and we'll check that out. The almanac, it is only in the Whiteout Challenge. But as you can see here, because you got 30 days till the Category 5 storm. Yeah, you can actually see, you can kind of predict the chance of having a blizzard. So that's quite nice. I don't know if this is going to make its way into sandbox mode. If it made it way into sandbox mode, I would kind of feel like it's really not as, cool. Because, I like the unpredictability. I do like the unpredictability in the game. But this is kind of nice for the Whiteout Challenge. Just be predictable. There. Next, also, it is no longer possible to craft complex items requiring a workbench in the dark. You can still craft simple things from the radio menu. As you can see, we're here doing our crafting. But if it also applies to research books. Research books, you can't read those in the dark. Though if you do start, I don't know if they fixed that. If you do start before it gets dark, you can keep reading. A little bit cheaty. I'm not sure if it still works. We'll have to check that out. But we'll also see maybe if crafting before it gets dark, if you still can. But also you can't read when you're hungry either. They did think about that one. But now branching, I just didn't want to go outside because I don't want to spoil too much of the next video for people. So I do apologize. We'll walk around a little bit, but I didn't want to spoil too much. But now also brandishing now costs stamina and not fatigue. So you can't. There was a little bit way to actually do a little bit of hibernation. You could just swing around brandish a couple things, a couple sticks, get worn out, then just hibernate more. So that's just going to cost you on your stamina bar, but it's not going to really run you any of the fatigue. Okay, and I can actually show you over here. One of the next thing, I'll actually auto harvesting for when you harvesting. I'm going to harvest this real quick just to show you. Yep, harvested, auto collected. You no longer have to pick stuff up. You no longer have to pick shit up. Sorry for the swearing, but that's lovely. Mark, you know I don't feed you. You know I don't feed you. I don't know why you go on about that, Mark. Mark Muir, ladies and gentlemen. It did also fix the issue with wolves sometimes walking in place. I did see that quite a bit. And now warmth from bedrolls is now taken into account when resting in vehicles. And you can also get a warmth from the bedroll when you're doing it in the snow shelter. I might do a separate snow shelter video if you guys want me to as well. You can now see descriptions for active buffs in the first aid screen as well. I don't think I have any active buffs right now, so no point in showing you there. But actually, we'll also check out a lot of it. As you can see, the new Beep Jerky there. New font. It's a little bit tinier, but it is looking really quite nice, though. It is nice. And the brightness correction this is a little weird. I don't know they changed this up. Because I kind of like to change it when I'm in game. But they took that out. I don't know if that was causing some problems or something, but they took that out. So you can't adjust in game anymore unless you really want to get out. So kind of just trying to set it out when you get before you get into the game, and try to maybe adjust changes as you go through there. But yeah, sadly, brightness slider in game bye bye. So unfortunately on that. They also did reduce the number of stacking damages event icons during wolf struggles. But they still have the same amount. It's just they reduced the number of icons that was going on at the same time. Maybe just clear up a little bit of confusion. Actually, I do want to check one more thing. Give me 1 second. Okay, gang, I was just checking. I was just checking one thing I wanted to check out with the audio. They had audio kickers for skill improvement, skill level unlock, and defeats unlock. So that's a nice little subtle level up thing. Okay, Wolf, we gotta go. I just want to see if I can. It's every time. Yeah. I will tell you, playing these challenges and playing this, I did a 24-hour marathon, Twitch marathon. That audio kicker gets insanely annoying after a while, especially if you discover a location that's outside. And then you go inside and it discovers the house. Maybe change that up a bit. I know I'd play more than most people though, so I do understand. But it's a little much. Just a little much for that. But also in general, they actually been a nice cool thing. This has only happened to me like twice, but this is how good Hinterland is. Players warp to a safe location and we detect player has fallen through the world. So in case you do fall through the world, you're actually covered now. That's kind of cool. And the screenshot keys no longer force UI to change from gamepad to mouse and keyboard. I didn't even know that was happening. It would be a slightly bug. Significantly reduced color banding in the low light conditions. Another thing I do like, they did this for the streamers. They've added support for being able to access. I love this when they did this. Because I can actually just mouse over to the second monitor and not have to tab out of the game. So that I can do stuff on the fly when I'm doing Twitch and stuff. Thank you, Alan Lawrence. Thank you for that. That is kind of nice. One little thing that they kind of did sneak up on the end of this, though, I think it's a bigger issue. I want to talk about this for a minute. Like usually when we put bad news, we always put it at the end of a big letterhead, though. So maybe not many people notice it. That's what they always try to do. A note on the leaderboards. I'll give you the official phrase, and then I'll give you my thoughts on this. As we deepen the option for player experience in the game and provide more ways to share your progress with other players, we feel that leaderboards don't represent a meaningful measurement of game progress, and therefore removing them effective immediately. We look forward to continuing to improve our in-game tools for sharing progress and player accomplishments. Yeah. Okay, so leaderboards are now gone. I'm sorry you guys that were working on your runs trying to hit on the leaderboard. That is gone. That is gone. I'm glad I wasn't going on a super long run back for... I do know I did lead pre-alpha leaderboard. I was the number one. And I had number one quite a few times. Actually, I've been kind of lazy lately because I was kind of waiting for the end to go on the leaderboard. I was about number 74, something like that. Had about a year or so on the run. Just kind of waiting until more of the game got finalized. But I guess I really don't have to worry about that. So I think a lot of the leaderboard people, we are probably going to be losing them. Unfortunately. But as one thing I said, they never maintained it, though. I mean, they wiped it like the first couple of test things, but then they never maintained it. So I do kind of disagree with this decision, but I do understand. Maybe they just don't feel like the leaderboard is for them. But they're going to lose a lot of the people that strive for that kind of stuff. But that's not the direction they're going. I do respect and understand that. But I think there is going to be a minor grumbling in the Long Dark community about this. I'm kind of sad at my first person. I'm kind of sad at first and disappointed, but I'm relieved in a way, so I don't have to, do like an 8,000 day leaderboard run to reclaim my spot. Thank you for that. But I feel like we lost a little piece of ourselves today, a little bit. But they never really maintained it. They hadn't maintained it in a long time. There was exploit runs, bugs and stuff. They never maintained it. I mean, I think a simple wipe and maintaining it would have gone okay, but it is what it is. Let's just leave it at that. But actually, they did a note on the test branch process as well. That it was really a great success. I think we did. Community got all the right feedback. Actually talked to Alan Lawrence during my 24-hour marathon. He actually got the bug I sent him in. It was a really game-breaking bug. He got that fixed. I was able to continue the marathon because we couldn't progress. Really quite well done. I would like to give give a round of applause for Hinterland people. They've done an amazing job in this update. Yeah, the Penitent Scholar. I really do like it. I really do like this update. If you haven't played it for the Long Dark in a while, definitely give it a check out. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll be having a couple of more videos in the coming days, giving you all the updated stuff. And we'll do a Nomad run now. We'll do a Nomad rundown because I feel like they've done this right enough. Otherwise, I just was not going to cover it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like button. It does help a lot. And I will see you guys in our next Long Dark video.